I just can't think of a time that I felt safe as a child. I don't have any really happy childhood memories from like age 3 or 4. I had been sexually abused. And then on top of that, we had a lot of physical abuse, a lot of emotional abuse from my mom. I had pictured myself as just useless, you know. I didn't see myself as someone who was very valuable or worth anything. Being homeless, my mother cleaned movie theaters at night. I would kind of sleep on the aisle of the movie theater. No one would even bat an eye or look at me. I guess I didn't hold value in their eyes. So as I got into my teenage years, I started getting into abusive relationships. And I got pregnant my senior year of high school. The stress of carrying the twins and trying to finish high school was pretty significant. I went into duress. And then Marcia, who was my daughter, I had her on May 6th. She was like a pound, she was a little bitty. And I ended up having Devontae 3 days later. Marcia passed away May 15th. By that October, Devontae wasn't gonna make it. I held him as he passed away. I didn't learn true love until I had my twins. That was by far the most difficult thing I'd ever had to do. And the doctor told me I'll never have another child. And my family said I didn't deserve a child. So I was in that mode of I'm cursed. People will shun you so quickly for the condition that you're in, but no one understands how you got there. I ended up pregnant with Frankie in March. When I got Frankie, I was like, oh my gosh. I felt that he was just a blessing in itself. I couldn't get support. Not everyone had the best picture of me because it was out of wedlock and I was a child. I didn't want to be seen as an embarrassment or as useless, but I wanted to be seen because I just wanted somebody there. My mother got mad. Her boyfriend held my arms behind my back and I got punched in the face. She was getting ready to slam my stomach. I couldn't lose another baby. I was fighting my way to get out. A classmate had mentioned the Rose Home. I didn't know what the house looked like. I just knew it was on a corner of 30th and Dewey. And the first house I knocked on was the Rose Home. I had nothing and I was 7 months pregnant. They didn't reject me or anything. It was like, what do you need? I had never been asked what I needed before. That was the turning point. They offered to help with no question. It wasn't a bunch of judgment. I didn't have to worry about just who I was or be ashamed of what I had been through. I was kind of able to breathe and cry. It was okay for me to cry through it. Then the sense of hope kicked back in, and then I felt safe. That was the first genuine, like, okay, I'll be okay. I remember sleeping and I went into labor with Frankie. Frankie, he gave me the biggest purpose, like ever. I had nothing when I had Frankie. I was living in the Rose Home and I felt like I had the world. They valued me enough to help me. I mattered to them. It gave me my hope back because it's like, okay, there's something here in me that they see that I don't see. If it hadn't been for them, I do not believe I would have pursued my own apartment. I do not believe that I would have pursued education. So I went to OSU OKC, and then I went to UCO to obtain my bachelor's degree, and then I got my master's. I am employed full-time with the Department of Human Services as a child welfare specialist, and me and my husband have been married 20 years. I am the mother of 3 adult children now. Hey, how are you doing? As a DHS worker, they are aware that I'm safe. Remember when we talked about patience? And I know how far it can carry someone to know that they're loved and valued as a person. I feel really accomplished because I did not want my children to live what I lived through. I worked so hard to give my children the freedom to just be. It's been a lifetime of changes for me. It's not just that moment, it's a lifetime of changes for a mother and their child. I mean, my son is 25 years old, so he has grown to be just as equally strong and adventurous. He doesn't set limits for himself. Willow Pregnancy is important because for me, it changed my life, it changed his life, it changed the trajectory of my other children's lives. And so it's not just a donation for that moment, it's a donation of a life, for a life. I had to have the blessings bestowed upon me. And the blessings came in many forms. It came in the form of people, shelter, housing, food, just blessing after blessing. Because if it hadn't been for those small things, I don't think that I would have been able to keep going. I'm blessed. I don't have any other word for it.